Hi there, how you doing? This is Charlie Bryant, better known as Hillbilly. And I'd like to welcome you to Smack 'em Pop, breaking the hillbilly way. In case you didn't know, I'm known for having one of the greatest breaks in the world. What this means is that I can break a rack really, really hard and pocket a ball and squat that nugget in the center of the table. What good is the break? It's the only shot you get. In this lesson, the first thing I'm going to do is teach you each individual position and movement of the body. This will help you better understand break preparation and execution. Next, I will reduce it even further and use key words to give you a pre-break routine. Also, in this video, I'm going to teach you body mechanics, which is such things as stance and posture. Then next, I will teach you stroke mechanics, which is motion and timing of the body. And then last but not least, I'm going to teach you shot mechanics, which is tip placement, bridge length, aim line, and delivery of the stroke. So I hope you're ready. Let's get started. The stance is very important to the break process because if you're not centered and grounded, you will lose your balance and throw yourself and the shot out of alignment. It is vital that the stance and posture be given their due attention in order for the break to be a thing of power and accuracy. Now, when I do my lessons, I always give paperwork. So if you would, pause your video, get you a pen and piece of paper, and I'll be right back. Okay, now, I hope that you took time to write down the stance outline. So there are 9 steps with the outline that I just gave you. So now, let's go through step 1. Step 1 is finding your sight line. When finding your sight line, you want to line up the center of your back foot through the center of the cue ball to the center of the object ball. Since I am right-handed, my right foot would be my back foot. If I was left-handed, my left foot would be my back foot, and you would line it up through the center of the cue ball to the center of the object ball. So let's go through that process. I'm lining up my back foot through the center of the cue ball to the center of the object ball. Now I step shoulder width parallel to the line of the shot. Okay? So now I want to adjust the back foot, which is step 2. Okay, this line of the shot I'm calling 0. You could turn your back foot to 90 degrees out, leaving the heel planted, but I have found going all the way out to 90, you have no power because you're pushing off from the inside of your leg. So the best position that I found, or the best angle that I found placing my foot out, would be from 45 to 65. Okay, let's go into step 3. Let's step into the line of the shot. So I'm stepping with my left foot, which is my front foot, parallel to the line of the shot. Okay, now step 4. I want to adjust the front foot. So I want to adjust my front foot in to about 10 to 15 degrees in, never to 45 or more, because you have a tendency to turn your body too much if you go past 10 to 15 degrees. So I'm going to bend over to the cue. And now that I'm bending over, I see that I am too close. So I'm going to go into step 6. I have to readjust my feet to find optimum balance. When trying to find optimum balance, you want to try to get the center of your gravity, or the center of your body balance, as close as you can to the cue. So let's go through this. So I have to make an adjustment because my feet wasn't right. So I'm going to make my adjustment. I want to get my stick as close as I can to my body, and then I want to find my center of gravity as close as I can to my cue. So I've made these adjustments. I'm finding my optimal balance. Now I want to cock my front knee in just a little bit so I can lock myself in. So always remember, now we're going to go into step 8. You want to keep your body compact. Okay? So now I like to do this little thing that I call step 9, which is test your balance, but I call it waggle. So I'm going to waggle. And I'm going to place my feet. I'm going to get everything balanced. Now I have found that I am balanced, and I can go into the process of the break. I'd like to take a moment to explain to you in greater detail the position of the feet and the knees. Now I want to explain the setup here to you. I've placed two cues here on the floor. They're about 12 inches apart. They are parallel to one another. The one on my right represents the line of the shot. The one on my left represents the front foot line that you'll step parallel on. Let's go through the steps of the routine. Step with the back foot on the line of the shot. Turn the back foot out 45 to 65 degrees, always leaving the heel planted when turning the foot out. Next, we want to step about 12 inches or shoulder width. Then we want to step parallel to the line of the shot with the front foot. Now we want to turn it in about 10 to 15 degrees. Again, always leaving the heel planted. And finally, we want to lean over and lock ourselves into place. And what I mean by locking ourselves into place, the center of the knee should come in and be real close to, directly over the big toe. Alright, I want to give you a stance drill to help you develop a pre-shot routine when approaching the table. But before I do, I want to take a second to go over something that many people take for granted. The position of the knees is just as important as the position of the feet in order to deliver a consistent, powerful break. What I mean is, the front knee should be straight up and down with the center of the ankle to the center of the knee. Never in front of that. What I teach is that the front of the knee is equal to the center of the ankle for optimal balance. The back leg. The back leg, there should never be no left-right leaning. And also you should just barely lean into the shot, keeping the back leg locked, because if you bend the back leg, it causes timing to be real difficult. Okay, look, now I'd like to give you a little stance drill and give you some key words so that you can get you a pre-shot routine with your stance. Okay? So let's go through the stance. Line of the shot, 45. Shoulder width, step parallel, in 10 to 15 degrees, lock. Line of the shot, 45, shoulder width, step parallel, 10 to 15, lock. Once you start getting your routine down and you've went through this drill quite a few times, you can reduce it to about 3 steps. Step, 45, step at about 45, in 10 to 15, lock. Waggle to get balance. Okay, now that we went through the stance and the steps of the stance and got you to understand the different elements of the stance, I need to get you to understand the different elements of posture, in which the posture is the upper body, the stance is the lower body. So I'd like for you to take time to pause your video and write down these steps so that you have something when I am not here. One of the main problems I see with a lot of players is that they keep their front arms straight. This places you back too far from the shot, forces your grip hand back too far on the cue, and brings you up too early during the forward movement. The reason it does this is because of body mechanics of the way that you're built. It just forces you to come up too quick. The ideal position is to keep the elbow bent down. This will allow you to stay level longer during the forward movement. The back elbow and wrist should be directly over the cue, straight up and down. At contact, the grip hand should be no more than one hand behind the ribs for ideal timing. What I mean by ideal timing is that the hip and the hand should come together at or about the same time you make contact with the cue ball. So now, in closing, the main thing that I need you to remember is that you have to keep your stance and posture throughout this entire process, or you will lose everything that I've tried to establish for you. Now that you understand the importance of the position of your body, it's time for us to put it into motion. The stroke is actually comprised of several distinct components that work together. The lead and the back motion are performed simultaneously to build up the desired power and momentum, and the forward motion delivers the final effect. This process could be compared to a whip. The tail builds energy from the momentum of the rest of the whip and is delivered as a culmination of the entire effort. This is why proper stance and posture are so important. They set the body in a position to deliver accurate timing. If your timing is off, the stroke components will counteract each other and you will not get the desired end result. The stroke is actually just the movement of the break. I'm going to briefly walk you through the process, and then I'm going to give you 3 stroke drills, which will go into more detail and to help you develop good timing. The lead, which is the forward movement of the front arm and knee, works simultaneously with the back motion of the cue. Now, when the tip reaches your bridge hand, this is where you begin to transition into the forward motion, transferring your weight from the back foot and leg to the front foot and following through. Okay, now that we've defined all the elements of the break, such as front arm, back leg, front leg, we're going to go in and I'm going to give you some of the drills to help you develop your timing and the motion of the break. And also I will define a few other things for you. So now in this drill, what I've done, if you remember, when we originally started, I had the cue ball and the object ball straight in line. So I'm going to move it over 1 to 1.5 balls, and I'm going to use contact point of the cue ball, but I'm going to slide it over and I'm going to use it as a reference point. So now we're going to go and line our body up. I'm going to do my little waggle to get stable. I'm going to make sure my front arm is bent down. I'm going to make sure my front knee is behind, straight up and down. Okay, so now I'm getting comfortable. Making sure my backhand is touching my body. So now all I want you to do in this first drill is I want you to come back slowly to your bridge, leaning forward, moving your knee forward, and also bending your arm forward. So watch this now. You need to do you about 20 or 30 of these at a time. You may need to do it 3 or 4 times to work on your timing. Just so that you get used to starting the body forward when the stroke goes back. It's very unorthodox. The reason you have to do this is the body is not as fast as the arm, and you have to give your body a head start. So this is drill 1.